Bam. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. I feel like I'm back in action, baby. Let's go. Woo. Sorry, I just got this extra energy to me today, and I already made gains in the trade. My buddy was here. I showed him how we do it, and he was like, wow, that's how you do it, Ham. I was like, that's how we do it. He's like, I'm impressed at how you did it. I said, we did it. He said, can you do it again? I said, maybe we can. We'll see if we can pull it off on the live. Sammy Bean, Sammy Pancake, swap in the house. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for sharing your most precious asset, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Live Show, baby. The greatest show in all of the interwebs, baby. Let's go. Woo. Woo. I'm feeling it. And let me kind of show you what happened today. I traded my model. I stuck to my model. I didn't make tons of money. I made $789. 789. Interesting, right? That's why 7 was afraid of 8. Or no, 9 was afraid of 7, right? Because 7, 8, 9. Oh, no, that's why 8 was afraid of 7. I mean, that's why, you know what I mean? I mean, that's what happened. What? It's not my fault. That's what I made today. It's 789. It was, look. You know what I mean? But see, 9 was afraid of 7 because, no, 10 was afraid of 7 because 7, 8, 9. You know what I mean? And 10 was afraid that if he ate 9, he'd probably eat 10 too. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just what happens. All right, we're done. We're done with the dad jokes. And we're going to boom up here with the facts of life. Let's bring down that music. Let's bring up that audio and get you moving and show you what's happening. So 121,500 for Bitcoin. We just sold 122,400 on the move. Let me show you kind of what I saw happening today and how it happened for me. I couldn't believe it happened the way it did. So I saw this tight flag. Let's go back in time and do it all right? Let's have some fun with it. So we'll delete everything. We'll go back to the 5-minute time frame and kind of show you what I saw as the morning began and kind of take you through what it's like to be in the Discord with the lifer. So you wake up. I wake up, you wake up, we all wake up. It's 7:30, 6 in the morning. I saw the sun come up this morning. Me and my buddy, we woke up at both at 6:50 and watched that sun come up here in Florida. And, you pull your measured move, which is the length of the base here. And it suggests you can kind of get to the target at 122,600, right? And that looks to me, if we go back in time, it was sitting just like this. And I was like, man, that is my model. I said, it's a beautiful consolidation above the 200 with the 21 touching. I said, man, it's a low volume Friday, but low volume Fridays are hot. And I wouldn't mind getting in and making some bacon on the beach. So if you look at my Discord here, I said, everybody, it's Friday, but that looks interessante, huh? And so I said, I had to nibble, but the trade is smaller due to Friday liquidity at 7:42 in the morning. Okay. Took last night off really from updates. I'm sorry about that, everybody. I usually don't do that, but I needed some time to breathe. My mind was just shot from the traveling and just the jet lag and a bit of sinus. But I feel great today. I feel like I'm back in action, ready to go. I feel like Superman. That's why I put on the Hulk costume. You know what I mean? I feel big right now. Like, sorry, dude. I didn't. Is that okay? Is the staff, did someone run out of here? Someone in the staff just ran out. They said they couldn't handle that behavior in the studio. All right, I mean, it's just what happens. Did you sign a waiver? I guess that's one less person. There's nobody here. I'm here alone. You know that, right? All right, so the first thing I saw was I had the nibble here at this key level. It looked like it was getting tight. Okay. And next thing you know, at 9:49, we had to wait an hour and 18 minutes, as you can see from the update. It's not like it happens overnight. 2 hours later, boom, right? You got to be patient. I was working out. I was getting ready, and then we saw this beautiful 1-minute flag that formed at 121,700. And that looked like it was going to do some damage with low stochastics. And I love the low stokes. And next thing you know, boom, it broke out. Next thing you know, I happened to be right in front of my trade. It started to go up. It was up 390. And then it actually took off, right? And this is just boom, 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 boom. As that happened, you know what I did? I started raising the stop loss. And I had the stop at break even, too, at this point. Stop at break even. Look, I don't expect much. Move my stop to break even. Look how I was so nonchalant about it today. And then bang, bang, bang. And I just like to go over the trades every day. We do so many of them, and we can learn from every single time we trade. And then I sold the top at about 121,400, my close price. And from there, we've kind of been struggling for Bitcoin. The bot has been buying right here. It needs to get itself out. Let's see what happens here. Did it buy the top? We'll find out. Only time will tell. So, here's what happened. And I ended up taking profits like a smart schoolboy who's been taught the lessons of life. And now we're back down and actually dumping to the downside. So I took a little nibble and seemed like that may have been all the liquidity we had today. And now it looks like we're going further to the downside. I mean, we got a death cross on the 1 hour time frame. And we're going to talk about that too. The 50 crossing below the 200 moving average. Can we get out of this? Is this a bit of a diamond? Do we have a bit of a diamond pattern on us that could somehow get us back out of here to the upside? Or are we going to, that's a possible diamond there, broken from the top. Could it break back out? There's a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance we could diamond our way out of here today. It's another kind of, possible scenario. So we'll take you through all the ups and downs. It's 121,200. Right now it is dumpage. And honestly, we're below the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame, which usually does suggest more downside. That takes you to 117,004, and BOOKMAP is suggesting that we do go lower. So I may have made a quick scalp today at that, $900 scalp there for Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up $900. I scalped 780. I'm not saying I made 900. I just want to make that clear. The price of Bitcoin went up $900. I was able to take 789. 789, interesting, right? Still kind of bugging, But so there you have it. And we have all this liquidity down here. And what do you guys think of the small headphones, right? I think it's pretty slick. I don't have to have these big chunky headphones on anymore. And I think it just, the chunky headphones don't go with the look. And these headphones actually sound better. I can hear more of what's happening and get really accustomed to the mix. Like I can really, really hear the mix. So it is what it is. And it's so clear, right? I love the audio here in the home studio. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Actually, the audio was pretty dang good, though, throughout the entire travel. I have to say, shout out to the travel team and the travel engineer that set all that up. That's me. Thank you. The guy's awesome. What can I say? So 118,000 right there is the key level of liquidity that we can go to. And I love it. I love it, right? The manipulation at US Open, just so old. Yeah. Love the new headphones. Shout out to Vincenzo. Hey. Zcash finally dumping. I mean, it took so long. That thing was pumping out of control for days. Right? Did anybody notice the fact that I was using small headphones? You know what I mean? Instead of those big clunky junks over here. So a bit of a bear flag, right? That could produce a nice gain down to 117,500. Could be a beautiful short. Even though I don't like to short, we must say that is likely probably the scenario here to the downside for Bitcoin. Nobody thinks we're going to go down. Everyone's, but you got to look at it. It's kind of like, look, it did this last time. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. Shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Shoulder, head, shoulder. It's starting to make so many head and shoulders that it's rolling over. And yet you're high, you're low, you're higher high, you're higher low, you're lower low. Right there, right? You expect a lower low, and then a lower high, and a lower low, a lower high, lower low, lower high. The trend suggests that the next move is a lower low. That's just what's going to happen, okay? So it looks more obvious that you could short this puppy to the downside. But again, let's do our top-down analysis and break down what I'm seeing. But right off the bat, I see a short with a stop on the other side of the 200 moving average. I also, Or do I long and defy the shorts? And do we crush the shorts and ride into the night? See, I left you because I don't want to tell you exactly what I see yet. I want you to have to watch the entire stream. I want to pull you in and make you have to really get into this here before I give you the sauce. I'm not going to give it to you that easily. All right? It's just not going to happen. You're going to have to put in the work and watch the channel with me and give me those views. Give me those views. I will take your views. I will give you the knowledge, but I will take your views. You will give me that. And that will be our agreement. Amen. to the death of time. Ride, let's ride. All right. My head looks small today, and my throat looks large. Hi, my name's Tom. Arnold Schwarzenegger of the stream. No. 7-day cross the 200 made downward to the 1 hour of making a death Krahosos. $420 million short. You're going all in. Beatings will continue to moral improves 100%. Yeah, the beatings will continue to the morale improves. Yeah, I love that. It's like my favorite line on earth, man. You're my kind of guy. The beatings will continue until you change the way you behave. To the morale, till you all get up and realize you're lucky to be beaten. Each beating is a lucky thing to have. Sammy the Governator. Sam the Governator. You guys are awesome. And ladies, the ladies and the lifers, you're all so funny. And it's Friday, man. Let's have some fun on a Friday if we can. I don't know if we can, but let's attempt to have some fun on a Friday, right? Let's do it. I know we can. Considering I already messed the stream up by sending the wrong link out and getting everybody frizzies and frazzled. Sam, how did you find that it will revert from 125 on the 5 minute while on the 15 it still had a large room above? How did I revert? Because it was too far away from the 200 moving average on the 5, on the 21 and the 5. The 5 got too far away from the 21 here, which told me it was extended. Yeah. The 15-minute had got above the 200, but not with the 21. You know, that's a fake move. When you get above the 200 without the 21, it's a fake move. When you pull the 21 across and make a flag, that's a real move. Okay? So like a real move on the 1 hour, a real move on the 1 hour or the 4 hour will give you a defined flag above the 15-minute 200 moving average. That's how you know you have an extended move on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. You see what I'm saying? Other than that, no. And that's also a rejection by the 200 moving average there. I feel like I should use the 700 I just made to take a short bet. You know what I mean? I don't know, though. Let me do my top-down analysis, and then... But I may open up a short here on the stream. There's a chance. I'm leaning that way. But I don't know. I mean, I want to glide with Astroglide, you know? Astroglide. I got to mess with... Dude, Zcash just continues to rip. Look at that thing. Said it could break out and make a flag, and it looks like it could be even flagging out there. Anyway, we'll get to that at another time. Zcash. So let me see what's happening here to BTC. Right off the bat on that 1 hour, it doesn't look amazing. Let's take a look at our monthly candles. Started looking at the monthly a lot ever since we kind of got into these more reckless and bigger pumps. So Bitcoin's been ripping ever since January 1st of 2023. It's unbelievable. As we get to 2026, it'll be a 3-year run that my net worth has been rising with just a few little dips in the middle, right? If you're a Bitcoiner like me and you're all in on BTC, it's been pretty amazing, right? Whoa. And pat yourself on the back if you stuck to Bitcoin this whole time and never wavered. Raise your hand if you were buying Bitcoin at 84,000, at 75,000, at 50,000, at 25,000, at 19,000, at 21,000, at 17,000, at 16,000. Raise your hand if you are a crypto lifer and crypto is controlled by Bitcoin. That means you're a Bitcoin lifer at one point. I mean, but you can be a crypto lifer without owning Bitcoin. Crypto is all inclusive. You don't have to be a maxi. We don't want you to get all, I don't want to be a maxi here. Does anyone think I'm a Bitcoin maxi? How many people think, no, and just be honest. Just be honest from watching the channel. How many people here think I'm a Bitcoin maxi? I don't think anyone does, but some people might. Am I a Bitcoin maxi? Let's just start a Q&A here. I don't know if what people, I don't know what people think of me. You know what I mean? Is the lifer a maxi pad? Sorry, is the lifer a maxi pad? Yes or no? Okay. Oh, I'm starting a Q&A. No. Yeah. We want to do a poll. How do you do a poll? There we go. Start a poll. Is lifer a maxi? Yes or no? I just want to see what you guys think. Am I a Bitcoin maxi? You know what I mean? Someone says you're quite bearish. I always thought you were a Bitcoin maxi. You know, I mean, I have a bunch of altcoins. I take a shot and speculate on altcoins. Want to see them go to the upside. There's a big chance we could get a big move here. So, all right. So here we go. Maxis are like, it's all inclusive. It's yes or no. You know what I mean? Nothing else can live. So the monthly looks good to me. It's the biggest monthly close in history if we close as such at the end of October. Huge pump, right? We took care of this resistance level at 115.8. So 115.8 is a monthly resistance and support. As long as we kind of stay above that, you could say that we can continue to build. A lot of wickage though from the downside. That's not amazing for an uptrend. Just, bringing that, just gotta say it. Just gotta say it. 5-day chart looks like it's tweezer topping. The 3-day chart already tweezer topped. And so I feel like that's definitely a resistance. That's definitely and we could be inside of some type of chop here where we have to come up, come down, and just kind of go sideways before our bigger pump to the upside. So even if we're bullish and this channel wants to break out, it says there could be some solid sideways price action at least until, November into December. It's kind of crazy. Like, we may not get the pump as people planned. I just, that's kind of what it says. Sideways price action. What it does tell us is a couple things. The 3-day is pretty strong, and it has beautiful support, which is resistance, or resistance that is support, right there at about 120,000, 119.9, 120K. So that's holding right now. You lose 120K, though, I don't see how you don't just fall right back to 117 and then all the way back to 109. See, there's not a lot of support or resistance there. 112.5, 109. So if you top out here on that 3-day chart, you can clearly see there's not a lot below us. It's 116 there, then 18, and then 108. I mean, there's not a lot of support and resistance. Here, you're kind of hanging at 109.5, which 119,005, which we've talked about on the wick. And then right below it, it's 117,000. And then this double bottom here at about 108.9, 108.5. So similar things, like you drop 1 or 2. I mean, you can be back at 108 pretty fast. So we had a huge pump, double bottom played out, and now the daily, to me, looks like it's going to make some type of downward flag here. And we talked about this on the update this morning, right? And I showed you the Fibonacci from this impulse down to the point of control and the 618 golden pocket at about 117,500. That area just looks so scrumptious to me for a likely little bit of a bounce. Also, what I would be, somewhat concerned about is, could there be a head and shoulder pattern here too that takes us somewhere down to this region, breaches 100,000. So everyone's convinced it's up only. So 59%, let's take a look here. We have 59% of the 190 votes say I am a maxi pack. Interesting. I'm longing this last pitch here. Yeah, yes, you're a bloody maxi and you left something on your goetta. Just kidding. On your goatee. Oh my gosh, what is that? Oh yeah, I did. You're right. What is that? Some egg from this morning? What the? Are you kidding or not kidding? Now you don't want to tell me because, what's on my goatee? I don't think anyone is convinced it's up only. I think many are bearish. Looks like the BBQ shorts with a side of squeezed lemon water today. You, my friend, might be onto something. Spot on, my man. Spot on. Spit on, my man. Spit on. No, so, I just want you to understand that the daily doesn't look amazing. The daily is telling us, look, and it made a tweezer top right there. The second you tweezer top, you got to start thinking there's more downside, right? And then we trade the trend. The trade's up. When the trade's up like this in the daily, all the 1 hour flags play out up. When the trade's down, the bear flags on the 1 hour should trade. You know, the only thing I would stress if I was a bear right now going for the short is how strong this support is at 119.5 and how well we bounced off of it. You know, there's a chance that that does hold incredibly well. BOOKMAP does suggest we go down to 118. That's where all the liquidity is, though. It's kind of screaming that we're going down. You're not a maxi because you also trade and hold all coins. Thank you for that clarification. Yeah, because a maxi wouldn't touch an altcoin, not even once. Not even a little bit. They'd just be like, no, I'm done. Not happening, right? Any AI in the chat? You're so funny. Is there any AI bots in the chat that want to talk today? Any AI bots want to talk? Zora is starting alt season by its. Yeah, Zora was out of control. So look, I mean, this looks just more and more likely. You would have gotten a bounce earlier from now to get this flag we were discussing earlier. There's still a chance you could bounce here. And this is why. See, if we did bounce, you didn't even have to catch you don't have to catch that bottom. You could get the consolidative entry right there, right? With a deep stop and take that 3-to-1. You can see that would be the 1, that would be the 3. Anyway, I could build it already in my mind by just coasting. You know, once you put in the subconscious mind work, it's all there for you. Like the trade I made today, I didn't have to see it. I just did what my mind told me to do from years of training it to do the right thing. No emotions were needed in the making of that trade. I'm a Soul Maxi too. Okay. Alt season so I can retire and become Mortal Kombat pro player. I know, right? That's all we all want to do. Finish him. So, I mean, who doesn't? I mean, that's why I got the arcade game for the kids downstairs, you know? Mortal Kombat. Finish him. So, I mean, this is still pretty cool if we can hold support or resistance for the next 2 or 3 days, get a little wick down, snatch the liquidity down there, and then rip back up to 134K. It could happen and save the day. There's a chance. I'm open-minded to anything, and if anyone's going to catch it, it's going to be us because we don't take days off. I'll be up tomorrow morning finding the next up, you know, and going to bed tonight doing an update. Nobody's going to be on it better than the lifers, I'll tell you that. Someone could be a better trader than me. They might be smarter, higher IQ. Their daddy might have showed them more about the charts. I'm self-taught, right? But they aren't going to outwork me. And so I'm going to see something eventually that they don't see. No matter how good they're, you know, I don't care if they have 1,000 bots running. I don't care what they do. They're eventually going to sleep when I'm not asleep, and I'm going to nail it. So show up with me every single day, the most consistent streamer in the entire interwebs. I don't know anyone that streamed more than me in the world. Either you streamed as much as me in the last 4 years, or you're not. You're just not in the elite streaming of consecutive streamers. All right? I'm a harmonica maxi. You heard my kids playing that, didn't you, out there in the back? So it said Bitcoin very bullish after the next dump. When the daily resets, it's on. Daily could reset for a higher low, and that would be absolutely beautiful too. So that's what we're looking for. Stochastics to reset, daily on the higher low. And anything is possible, folks. We're going to take it one step at a time. So this looks the most likely to me. We're going to come somewhere in here and even possibly challenge 117,000. So don't be stressed if that happens for Bitcoin, right? And you can see this is starting to make a descending triangle. You can see it here, which eventually blends into a falling wedge. Like the descending triangle falls down, it comes down to here. But you can see that's clearly starting to form a bit of a descender. It just is what it is, right? The 8 hour as well, looking somewhat bearish. I don't know, green bounce though. Very oversold in the 8 hour. The 4 hour in a bit of a wedge. But to me, still, yeah, I'd have to say it's in more of a descending triangle. I'll give it just a little more narrow. But yeah, I mean, that looks like you'll hang out in here, get tighter and tighter, and then roll over, right? Just looks the most likely scenario. You know, like a very low-risk trader wouldn't even long any reversals or anything. You wouldn't long unless you got back above 123,454. Like, you see? That would be like because that would mean you got back above this resistance. You could use it as support, and you'd have a higher probability of winning any trade. All right. Look at the 1 hour time frame now, below the 200 moving average. And this is kind of where we sat at the beginning of the stream. So look, just to kind of show you what's happening. Here's the daily falling wedge that we talked about. That looks like it's definitely getting filled. Here is the 1 hour kind of flag here that's actually still holding inside of an ascending triangle. Let's zoom into this. So you can see we're still holding a bit of an ascending triangle here, right? We've got this uptrend on the bottom. We've got this flat top. And we came into it to the upside. It's a 50-50 pattern, but there's a gap here too. Wouldn't be surprised if they flatten. And look, it kind of resembles an Adam and Eve. You see it? With a very sharp dart down here. But, I mean, it has some Adam and Eve vibes. So I am getting mixed signals. Below the 200 is bearish. And you'd say, well, isn't that the bear flag that you talked about there, Sam? That looks like it's going to go further down. And it does look as such. We looked at the, but you could even come up here, touch this top area of liquidity, and come all the way back down. So you see you came down. You could come up, come back down. And so there's a chance there's still a long here today. And, maybe that extends even higher. We don't know. But there's a gap in the VRVP. You're showing some signs of a possible bounce. We had the spike earlier I took advantage of. Is that a precursor to more liquidity above us? And so this is what I want to figure out for you right now is the probability of what's about to happen. Because that's what I do. I attempt to find out the actual temporal probability. Nobody else does that. Everyone else tries to give you like what the 4 hour. I try to show you what could happen right now. And the next few minutes to the next hour, so you can get a better handle. So look, that is a bit of a diamond, right? And I gotta say, it did come in from the top, in my humble opinion, and it could definitely, you came in, boom, right? I'm getting this airy sign. We could get this crazy move up. What if it makes a new all-time high too, and it cracks that 126,000? I mean, we're so close, yet so far away. It's interesting. So you're telling me that I'm off to work. Have a blessed day, lifers. Justin, this is the worst time to miss out on this update, but I get it. You can watch it back when you get on the train or something or wherever you're going. God bless you, man. I think Lifer looks like Pollux Troy from Face Off. Thank you. I mean, you can think whatever you like. I hope, as long as I fulfill your fantasy. So I'm just joking. But as long as I fulfill your, your hero. I'm being stupid now. I can't get out of that one. That's what you got to do. You just got to a little Nick Cage. Looks like a Livermore cylinder in the 1 hour with a falling wedge of the 15-minute. I see what you're saying too. Could be a Livermore cylinder. I don't know. I don't see that. They're more open the other way, right? So where do we stand here? Well, we watch this flag, right? This looks like the likely scenario here for today. And if you can't get back above the 1 hour 200 moving average, expect more downside. 15-minute also got rejected by the 200, but now it's attempting its secondary bounce here back inside. So what you're looking for is basically this is what happened. It faked out, got everybody to long, came back inside, grabbed the liquidity, and then it might get tight again and then actually rip. I would watch your 15-minute time frame right now. And honestly, so the low stochastics, lack of bearish momentum on the MACD, and this pull there on the right on the RSI could give us a little bit of a bounce here back up. And I am looking at this like a somewhat of a diamond here. I came in and could bounce right back to the upside. So I got some signs of a reversal for Bitcoin on this low volume Friday. Despite how insane it looks, there is somewhat of a chance here we could get a bit of a bounce. Yeah. Hey, Lifer, can you also see a complex inverted head and shoulder on the 1 hour time frame? It was there, but I feel like it got ruined, Like you had somewhat of an idea. Recently, we have had high like these. We've had a lot of these breaking the angles, but then they come back inside. They did it on the bigger scale too. It's interesting. Yeah. XCL's on Mexi. Interesting. They've moved in to Mexi. Someone sees this as an Adam and Eve too, right here. And that could break you down. Had to turn on the fan. It's a little too hot in here, babe. So here we go for Bitcoin. And that caffeine gets you sweating, doesn't it? Wow. I had some coffee just there, and it's got me sweating. Now I need some water. Put the lemon in the water. Maybe it can save the day before I melt away. Sweating out my suits, destroying beautiful suits with sweat. Just like whatever's. You can always buy another one. Sweat it out, Sammy. It's for the show. So, here's the deal. You're watching this insane flag. And it looks like the 15-minute could get a bit of a bounce. And they might just flatten anybody who's trying to short this puppy and create that, you know. Got a lot of fear brewing. When there's a lot of fear, they usually get people going on the opposite direction. I'm mainly a long trader until we break some key supportive resistance levels. You know what I mean? Mongoose Live multi-time frame alignment will give you the best indication. Yeah, still waiting on... Yeah, not going to happen. Has anyone had a problem? No. Why did you use the wicks of the 4-hour? You changed from falling wedge to descending triangle. Yeah. I don't use wicks. Yeah, I don't use the wicks. Yeah, you do whatever makes you happy, man. And again, this may sound strange. I don't have to answer to you. I just have to display what I'm doing, and you can figure it out. I do like to answer questions, but I don't have to answer to you. Big difference. So that's kind of what it is. You're basically looking to see if this falling wedge of the 15-minute can move to the upside. You got oversold stochastic, right? And you're in a falling wedge. So to me, you were in the pattern. You broke out. You broke back inside. And my mentor always taught me, if you're back inside the pattern, play it as if you've never left. So what you would do is you would X out this idea like we've never actually left the pattern at all. See that? And you'd play this as if you were just doing this. Right? So once you break a pattern, you play it like, and that's actually given me a huge insight, because a lot of people, once this happens, they're bearish now, right? They're like, oh, that was, you know, below. But to me, you got to play the same pattern as if it was there before. So if I would have longed earlier today, then I would long again. You see? Relentless kind of behavior. But again, I don't see myself trading again after the win this morning. $700 in a couple hours, I feel, you know. And I will tell you, below the 200 moving average is bearish. Like, you've got to get back above that. Like, as I said, a more conservative trader would not trade at all until you get above this yellow line and the 21 touches. And even then, you don't have a lot of range up there. We're in some tight chop. You know, once we start movement, this is the most beautiful place to be. When you catch a reversal, and then we can trade the reversal. So, like, that's why I like this move here back to the upside. These were beautiful times for us to trade. My system works beautifully here. If you zoom in here, many of the 1 hour, 15-minute, heck, 5-minute flags played out way better because the daily was in an uptrend. But when you're not in that trend, right? So right now, again, we said this earlier today, right? Now we're back in the downtrend. So now the downtrend's on the daily, and you got to take that into account unless you break trends. So right now, it's a bit sketchy. It is, right? And I hope this all made sense to you. Again, you're playing chess. If you tell yourself what's happening, you're going to miss out. You can't force things in trading. You have to have a plan that's based on years of basically accumulating the data. If you don't have those years of accumulating data, watch me and begin to understand what and how I'm doing things. People will start to fill in the blanks for you in my trading group. For $99 a month, I firmly believe you will accelerate your trading knowledge to a way higher level than if you were by yourself. I've been doing this for a long time. I sell $99 a month services because I know if you look back on your life and say, hey, man, thank God I found that dude and paid the $99 a month. Or if you bought bulk and paid $7.7 for the year at Cyber Monday, which is coming up within a month and a half, right? Cyber Monday and what is it? Black Friday sale. So the whole point is I firmly believe the knowledge that I sell you will accelerate your ability to learn at a way faster level. Years will go by and you're like, nah, thank God I did this. I would have spent way more time and money probably trying to figure out the same thing with high probability, in my humble opinion. But that's what I believe, because that's what I put together. I spent years curating the knowledge that I have for you. So here's the deal. Am I long or short today? I already sold the top, and I showed you how I did it. Not trying to be rude, but like I executed today absolutely perfectly. I got the only move really out of it from here to there, and I got in there, I got out there. It's like, I mean, with precision. But I just got to tell you, when you're oversold in the Stokes, when you're in a falling wedge, there's a chance we bounce back to the upside here, even if we just bounce back to the top of the channel and we stay tight in here. So I would look for sideways price action, and I got a trader instinct that's telling me they're hiding a little bit of a short squeeze, and they're going to try to attempt to take out some of the shorts. The bigger move may be short, and they're just kind of sweeping out who they can right now, but it all depends. So that's kind of what I'm seeing, and we're oversold in the stochastics, RSI, MACD, everything kind of turning our way back to the upside. Where's my peoples here on the stream? Shout out to all the 1,200 beautiful souls here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in and being here. All right. Let me jump into the group. Let's see what people are saying here. May we check out RKLB. Love you, Sam. Thank you. Keep it real. So you're telling me for less than a coffee a day, I can learn how to become disciplined in trade and personally grow 100%. For less than $3 a day, I can formulate your brain to push you to a new level. We're going to turn you into an absolute monster trader. Shout out to Master Friend of the House. Shout out to all my beautiful people. Shout out to Lindsay Linz. The trading group is so great. Education, community, ideas, support, like-minded people. Wish I had more time to be more involved, but I love it. Even reading and learning, great people in the Discord. Lindsay, we love you. I think you're doing great. You're here at a lot of streams, supporting other people. You've been absolutely a blessing to be around, and you're going to continue to grow, I can tell already. We're always here, buddy. Shout out to Jamal Antonio. We love you, man. And we thank you. And we appreciate all the people that support me. Don't have money to send a donation, but please send me. Tell me your thoughts on XPL. I'll take a look at it. Thank you for asking. Yeah. So we're looking for the 15-minute to bounce. That's what's likely going to happen right now, based off of the falling wedge that breaks up and the curving stochastics RSI. If you're short, you could get wrecked here. Just be careful. Okay? The odds are against you right now until further notice. It could change in the next 20 to 30 minutes, right? It could roll over. We do have to get back above that 200 moving average. Same in the 5. The 5-minute will have to get back above the 200. If the 5-minute rolls over, right? I'm just giving you probability, and I'm not in the long right now. I just want to make that clear. So let's go over it. I give some mixed signals sometimes based on probability. Right now, the bigger picture suggests that you could short with a stop on the other side of the 200 moving average on the 1 hour. And this thing could come all the way back somewhere down to 118, 117.5, and you could win the short. All right. I've been hesitant to short recently. Just my trading instincts have told me to just trade my model, catch my reversals, and stay away from the shorts until further notice. That doesn't mean you can't short and make a boatload of money, and it doesn't mean I might not call the short. All right. This thing just continues to dump. I'd stay away from it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know the minimum amount needed to donate, unfortunately. God bless you, man. No worries. Counter trading, Sam, has a 14% probability. Hey, thank you. Hey, that ain't bad. I'll take it. I love you, brother. Thank you for saying such. Hey, you could almost win with that. You need like 30%, though, but you could almost win with that. If you put the right trade on at the right time, you could still win with that. Like a one bigger trade. I mean, this is making a falling wedge that maybe one day can break out of this, right? You're definitely not chasing at this point, but I'd much rather see it get above a 200 moving average of the 5 or the 7. Right now, it's, to me, just getting sold off from whoever got in pretty early, attempting to make a rounded bottom. Sammy, I peeped something else about your system. The 200 SMA, when tight, with the 250. Thank you. Yeah, you can add a lot of other things like that. I add the smooth moving average, the SMMA, and it does very similar kind of with that 250 in a way. Anything above the 200s will have that type of behavior. I mean, silver doing absolute damage. If you look at it here on the 1 hour time frame, I mean, I think you're correct. I would put silver tighter. Look at this. Look at high-ho silver away. Look at silver getting super tight inside of this ascending triangle, right? And I mean, they're going to print more money, and silver's just going to take that. They've been suppressing silver for years. To see silver break out like this, and remember, I talked about silver with my Kinesis account, and I kept telling you guys that I was accumulating silver at the $38 level. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, just something I was doing, and then that has panned out pretty well for me already. I said take a little bit of my lev profits, put them into silver, and hold silver for the next year or two. Watch that thing triple up. To me, it looks like silver is going to go sideways for 8 to 10 hours and then get a massive pump to $55, $54. I was told to get into silver a year ago. I did not. I've been into silver for a long time. Yeah, when it was $15, $16, $17, $19. God bless. Can you check Algorand? I see the 5 SA curving up across the 200 golden cross on the weekly. You see the same. Rebel Dark Side. Let's take a look at Harmony. Someone said they asked about it on a stream that got disconnected. I did read that for you, man. I caught that in the corner of my eye here. Let me see. And then we'll move on into the other super chat that just got asked here about Algorand. And thank you so much for the super chats. You people are absolutely amazing. It keeps the show going. It's very interactive, and it makes it fun. So thank you so much for taking a part of your day to be a part of the stream in an interactive manner. You can't get this in a pre-recorded video. You just can't get this type of behavioral action. You can't touch the crowd like we can here every single day. Worldwide, baby, worldwide, around the world. And this stream promotes crypto around the world. It promotes positivity, good energy, and good vibes. I mean, that looks bearish to me, right? That's a descending triangle unless you're basically at the very bottoms, about to get a bounce. So either you're buying the absolute bottom or this thing has more to go down. Not my favorite place to get in unless I absolutely love a coin. So, yeah. All this Jeffries were told to buy Bitcoin in 2013. They were too busy being lazy consumers. And I was on the outskirts I was on the outskirts. I was working a night shift. So while everyone was going to work, when everyone was leaving work, I'm in New York. Everyone works 9 to 5. I was working 7 or 8 p.m. at night to 3 in the morning. So I had to get out. I basically I had some dinner, 6 o'clock. My wife would come home from work, 6:30. We'd hang out for a half an hour, and then I'd say, okay, babe, I got to go. And I'd give her a kiss, hope she would be safe, and I would head on out for the night shift every night. And I would go to work while everyone was leaving. From 5 to 7, everyone was commuting. And as everyone left the city of Manhattan, I'd be heading into the city from Queens. And I just, I realized I was the type of guy that went against the grain. Right there and then, I said, look at me, I'm going against the grain. Millions of people are leaving. Only a few people are heading into the city on a night shift right now, and that was me. And so because I went against the grain, I started doing things no one else was doing. I started living opposite of society, contrarian, right? I started buying Bitcoin when everyone told me I was crazy. I started researching Bitcoin late at night on my computer. I started getting an education from people like you're watching, like me. I started watching people like me, in comparison to you're watching me right now. And you're like, oh, this guy's on the outside. He doesn't work a 9 to 5. He created his own job through his own YouTube channel. Like, this guy's a visionary, right? This guy's a different person than anyone I've ever met. He's out here talking for 2 hours a day on his own live stream, 7 days a week without a day off. He got to 100,000 subs. How did he do all this? I just followed other people that I one day I clicked online just like you did. And I started watching somebody who was doing what they love to do. And I said, I want to do like that guy and that girl. I want to have my own channel. I want to live my own life. I want to be the CEO of my own company. And I want to learn. And I also love trading. And so I combined my passion for trading, for education, online education. And here I am. I never knew God was going to provide the opportunities that he did. I didn't think my channel was going to get as big as it did. I didn't know I was going to ever have exactly what I have today. I'm so blessed right now for every single moment I get to be here. Okay. And yeah, Chris Green, I used to watch that dude back in the day. I know who you're talking about. I worked 12-hour nights in a factory for 10 years. I broke that cycle. Now I want to break my new one. Hey, there you go. And delayed gratification. Yes, I sat there on that night shift for years until I found my way. Everyone looks at me now. Oh, you travel the world. You wear suits. You just made $700 in an hour. Your life looks so great. You know, you live in a gated community. Things are going so well for you. You have everything you've ever dreamed of. Yes. But I sat for years working a night shift. I sat when everyone else had more than me. I wore the same Costco jeans for 10 years. I wore a hoodie. You know what I mean? I didn't have to dress nice in front of everyone. Nobody saw me. I worked a night shift. So remember that. Every time you see me rocking this pocket square, every time you see me making a gain, every time you think I'm bragging or I'm some fancy schmancy pantsy, remember, I live with envision me coming home on that night shift from 31 to 37 years old, 6 years of my life. Envision me riding my bike in the rain at night at 2 a.m. because I did many, many nights. Because I didn't take cabs and I did everything to save money. I made my commute as simple as possible and as cheap as possible for as long as I could. And I stacked my money and I put it in investments. I researched billionaires. They said, live below your means and stack as much money as you can in investments. I found an investment that I liked, Bitcoin, thank the Lord, which made it simple. I didn't have 1,000 different things to invest in, just Bitcoin. And I stuck to it. And I did it over and over again, day in and day out, no matter what anybody said to me. My mother, my father, my friends, my family, my sisters, my brother, nobody. I didn't have a brother, but if I did. And, and people said, why are you buying all this Bitcoin? And I said, because it's the answer. It's going to eventually provide the gateway for me to live a beautiful life. And they'd look at me like I was crazy. And I said, listen, they're going to print the dollar to zero. If I keep putting my money in the dollar, I'm just going to be where everyone else is. I said, I have to do something different than everybody else to get away from where everyone else is. I said, I can't do what everyone else is if I want to be where everyone else, if I can't do what everyone else is doing, if I don't want to be where everyone else is. My actions must be different than the populace. So I asked myself, who is buying Bitcoin? And only a small amount of people were doing it. So I said, I'm going to do what no one else is doing. And hopefully that pans out over time. And it's not cool to do what everyone else isn't doing. Everyone, you're an outsider. You're not a follower. See, 90% of people want to follow the herd. They want to do what the herd's doing because it feels good to do what everyone else is doing. Because if you do something everyone else isn't doing, they get nervous and scared. See, my dad taught me how to be an independent thinker. He taught me it was cool to be on the outside. He taught me it was cool to go against the grain. And as I showed you, I've been going against the grain my entire life. And it's been working out. So why would I stop now? The only problem is going against the grain for years didn't always pan out for me. And I struggled for years and wondered if I was always going to be a recluse and away from society. But, I kept pushing. I kept finding my way. And look, here we are together today. If I never decided to make a move, if I never decided to change my life, I would just be a guy at work right now. There'd be no, wouldn't be talking about me. We wouldn't be hanging out together. Let's take a look at Rocket Lab Corporation. I remember the last time you guys talked about it, we said, make this flag. I said, it could either go down or up. And I see it going to 79, and I made this call for you guys. Remember? I don't know if you remember. And all you had to do was flag this out. When it got tight, make the entry at 48. And this thing's sitting at 73 right now. All right, so there's another call we made on the channel. And you can go back to the last time someone asked about this, 40%. And it looks like it's headed to the target at 61% gains. And so this shows you can do exactly what I do. Look, the 21 touching, tight moving averages, that's the daily time frame. You can even go back to the 4 hour, it looks even better. Look how tight those moving averages are above the 200 moving, the 200 MA. Absolutely beautiful move here to the upside for Bitcoin. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, for RKLB. You can even see how it made the hidden bullish back at the 618 golden pocket. Unbelievable, right? And someone asked me about it. I said I'd make a twisted sister, see which way it could pan out. Look, it almost did exactly what we said. I mean, it's insane. And so you can trade my strategies on any. And look, the high volume node with the tight moving averages, it tells you something. There's so much going on in the math that I teach you. Just keep learning from me. I'm telling you, just, keep doing what I'm telling you to do over and over again with the moving averages. Keep flagging it out. Keep using supportive resistance. Don't listen to anybody else that tells you this stuff doesn't work. Stick to it. Stay with the most consistent man in the game. Everyone else isn't as consistent as me. They can say whatever they want, but they're never going to be as consistent as I am. Come on, baby. We've already proven this. We've already proven this. Nobody in crypto has been more consistent, so continue to come through. And yes, I'm bragging about my consistency because nobody else has it. So that's why I get to hold that. And that's the thing, when you're consistent, people will have to respect your hustle. Think about it. If I was a home builder, wouldn't you want to hire? Who would you want to hire in the competitive business? The guy that chose that, of course, the most consistent home builder. Who would you want to hire in the ice cream business? Who would you want to hire in any carpentry? The guy that doesn't show up or it shows up 70% of the time, or the guy that's there every single day, baby? Come on now. Consistency will build relationships around you. People will respect and love you. You'll have a network you've never believed because people will really depend on you. They'll believe in you. And once people believe in you, you can build something big. You really can. And I want you to understand that, build something for yourself. Become great every single day by pushing yourself. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the negative energy. Keep pushing yourself every single day. Be your own cheerleader because you can, you will, you are the best. Don't like how things are, change. You're not a tree. You don't have to stand in the same place. Exactly. Some said most depressing bull run ever unless you only have Bitcoin. Does your bot have a 100% win rate just buying loss mitigation style with no stop loss? Exactly what it does, man. It has a 100% win rate. I've only had to shut it off 3 times. That's why it's 97%. Yeah. It's insane. The win rate is absolutely insane. My microphone is unmuted but has no signal. Interesting. That was before, but we're good now. Yeah. Let me just make sure that's the right one. You never know. Yeah, Rodecaster Pro. Funny microphone array. That's weird. All right. So XPL looks horrible. I'm just going through the fan funding here. Tour intro song says, with the altcoin, with the records got. You hear it every time now. Have a great weekend. You're funny, man. I love you. Thank you. Most depressing bull run ever, unless you had Bitcoin. Yeah, does your bot have a 100% win rate just by, thank you. Don't like how things are changed, Keep it real. Check out RKLB. Love y'all. That thing is booming. And someone gave us that call. Unreal. 61% gains out the stock market. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I'm saying you should be taking as financial advice. Get yourself a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence before getting any project, coin, or trade. XPL looks horrible. And God bless. Can you check Algorand? He says the 50 SMA curving up. Let's take a look at Algo. They got some game going on too right now. You can join. Like they're doing something with the Algo ecosystem. So they're building. I'm not a fan of Algo. It's a boring coin. It takes forever to move. It's associated with some, I don't know, But hey, it is what it is. God bless it. Anything could happen, right? It's a bit of a cup and handle here. You would expect that to kind of break out over time. It's hugging a higher low. We've been watching this for a lot of altcoins, though. They've been just kind of waiting in the doldrums for their move. It is a higher low. It's above the daily 200 moving average just by a pinch. But it looks like it's kind of teasing. Actually, no, it's right below it now as we speak. But you can see it almost looks like it's going to make a shoulder, a head, and a bit of a right shoulder. It's hugging a higher low right now. It's hugging this previous resistance right there, which is a support. So resistance became support at about 21. But since its bottom at like 11, it's only doubled and it's been hanging out, right? I mean, it had a huge rip back to 60. Did a 6X there in November of 2024. But again, that's the peak of the market. Like all coins have never been back to where they were. December or March. Depending on your coin, they either hit a high in March or December of 24 or March of 2025, right? There was this extra surge there too, January. Then it made a double bottom Adam and Eve, ripped back up, and then just got sold off slowly into accumulation. You think, okay, it'll make this whole length of this pole too, back to the upside, somewhere back up to 67. Again, and look at the elongated bottom it's been in for such a long time. From that high spike all the way up at about 367. I don't know. There's so much better coins to be into, and for such a big market cap, it's going to take so much money for Algo to get back up to these key levels. So, I don't know. I think the only people that talk about algo are people that have been paid to talk about it. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, other than that, it's just algo. Like, I can't really, it goes what, 43? Maybe up to 31? I do like the higher low. I'm not, that's bullish. Low, high, higher, low. That is bullish. And it is a strong project, right? It's not like it's a fly-by-night project. It's got a big team. And it seems to be here for a long time. I'd expect it to bounce and hug that 200 moving average on the daily. But again, it depends on the whole market, right? If the whole market doesn't do good, algo's not just going to boom out of nowhere. I'll tell you that right now. It depends on what Bitcoin does, 100%. And that's kind of, that's the one thing we have to pay attention to. So, I believe that's the right. I believe we did the super chat for this stream. However, I had 2 streams cooking, and I know I had people kind of going both ways. Doesn't sound right. Always something. Anyway, I'll get there. I'll get there one day. So, yeah. And let's just make sure that is I believe we're on the right chat. But you never know. I sometimes have a chat window open for the last time, and then, yeah. Someone says, Bitcoin staying in the channel back up. Is it not? Oh, wow. So Bitcoin took a nasty dump here in the last 5 minutes, right? All the way back down, and it tested 119,008. Look at that. So Bitcoin just took a beat down to the ground. And it's attempting to hug, though, and stay inside the pattern. So let's take a look here. It didn't get the 15-minute bounce. It decided to collapse, right? Look at that. It just kind of rolled over some more and went right back to the same level, 119,900, wrecking the longs. And now it's attempting to double bottom here off of 119.9. Yeah. Okay. NASDAQ and the EQ. Yeah, insane volume. One thing we have to pay attention to. Remember, to buy the NASDAQ, your 20-year crash for the high. Move from algo, open Bitcoin. You guys are freaking out. Why do you guys freak out so much? Look at this. Look at the emotions. Watch this. He's playing time. Bitcoin. Oh my God, Sam, take a look at. Oh my God, open Bitcoin. Look at this guy. Open Bitcoin. What a nut. What a nut job, right? Can't breathe, bro. Calm down, man. You're gonna make it. Don't worry. It's just life. Think about if I acted like that. I've been here for thousands of days. You know how many times Bitcoin's gone up and down? Oh no. Bitcoin dropped $2,000. Oh no. Oh my God. Not again. This is the volatility that you live for here for BTC, right? Look at that. Beautiful dump to the downside. And look, it even made a head and shoulder pattern right there on the 1 minute. Wink, wink, wink. I did like the short. I was kind of leaning towards the short on the 1 hour time frame. Right? That short bear flag there that technically broke down. As I said, when you're below the 200 moving average on the 1 hour, you kind of have to assume you're more bearish than bullish. Well, look at the bounce back to the upside. Good price action for Bitcoin, right? Someone says it's not Bitcoin. Something's happening to TradFi. I just take a deep breath, man. Something's always happening to the market. Every time. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ and see what happened here to the NQ. NQ, baby. I mean, that's nothing at all. That's just a little bit of a dip there on the daily. I'm looking for the NASDAQ to continue sideways before a bigger pump. We're going to talk about this on the macro analysis video later on today. Yeah, it's okay. You've been pumping for days. You got to have a little bit of a movement down. You got to stress people. You got to get them to short the market to pump higher. So you got to induce shorts. You got to get people to fear, right? You got to get fear. Someone's like, big China news. Oh my God. I guess I just don't get frazzled or even pay attention like other people. We'll take a look, though. MSFT, Microsoft today took a bit of a dump. They want to land, they want to water. California residents speak out against the planned data center. Interesting. Let's take a look at what Trump said here in the markets. Adam Schiff trending as he is whale. A whale is trending here on Twitter. I'm giving away Vine to lucky people. What is this whale? All season parabolic incoming. See this? Isn't that funny? We're here. It's funny. You never know, but it does look very similar. The way the US dollar is here. Interesting. Aha. Hey. Is that... It seems to be the, hello? That's so crazy. When I talk, I could hear the fan, because the fan was part of my talking. So weird. Do I still have that? Let me see if I have a filter on there that I had. No. Anyway. Only time will tell here. I should be a little further back. There we go. That looks nicer. I mean, that's interesting. People are still hugging alt season. And again, I haven't sold anything. You know. Is that true? Is that true? This guy just shorted 420 worth of Bitcoin in Hyperliquid. He deposited 80 million worth of USDC and leveraged over 5x to short Bitcoin. He also sent 50 million to Binance, where he is likely doing the same. This whale is betting on a massive dump for Bitcoin. Look at that. And that could be, that's a lot of hype. So people do that, and then they just open up a massive short, right? But look, he's already up. When did he short? Entry price 126.7. I mean, that's a pretty risky idea on a Friday, too. Low volume. That's why it's good to have your own conviction. You just don't do whatever you see out here, right? And someone said something happened with... That's funny. You gotta love that. What did Trump say here? That's funny. It was great reading King Charles. Nothing. Is this the right one? Yeah, this is it, right? The real Trump. He hasn't tweeted in a minute. Nah, he tweets way more than that, right? This is like... That looks like it's the one. Maybe it's the White House. Someone says Trump news about tariffs again. I don't stress it, man. I don't know why people stress so much every 5 seconds. Oh, the market's going to move, man. It is what it is. It's a Friday, low volume Friday. They're going to use it to manipulate you. Look at the spike up and the spike down. That's why you have to get in and get out and have a precise movement. If you're not precise with your emotions, they're going to chew you up. Like the fact that I got in there and got out there is insane, right? But you have to know what you're doing. That's precision. At the end of the day, it does look far more bearish than bullish. I mean, you got a death cross on the 1 hour time frame. And you can see here, look at the 2 hour likes to come down to the 200 moving average. Looks like it might chop its way all over there, though, like something like this. If I had to tell you what's going to happen, I tell you we're probably going to do something like this and just slow bleed down, so, kind of sideways and down, right? Yeah, he did it on True Social. Okay, cool, yeah. Usually they'll retweet that in a second, though, and you'll see the tweet. It'll make its way to Twitter eventually, the True Social tweet, right? So I always look at the younger guy. U.S. troops headed to Israel to support historic peace deal. 16 hours ago. It says this is not true and taken out of context. We're already stationed, will be tasked with monitoring the peace agreement, and they will work with other international forces on the ground. So it's just, I always kind of think the peace deal would have been somewhat more bullish for the economy, but low volume Fridays, just be careful, man. Look at that dumpy. And you can see it looks kind of shoulder, head, and shouldery. Remember, do not remain overly bullish when you lose the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. Go look at all the times we've done that. Right here, it started a massive dump down where we grabbed more liquidity. Looks very similar. We're kind of hanging out right there below the 200. So then why are you shorting then, Sam? Because I have like a really good way of nailing it no matter, even if we're bearish, I'll be able to find my model. Like today, we weren't bullish. I still made $700 in about 2.5 hours because I just do what I do. You don't have to do what I do. I'm stuck inside my own little model here, and I just keep looking for it. Well, look, that's a bear flag on the 1 minute. Technically, it doesn't look good. As you could say, you're attempting, but that looks more bearish than bullish. Headed lower to 119. And remember, once we lose 119.5, that's weekly support or resistance. And we also discussed that kind of in depth earlier today as well. So that looks like you're headed down to 119,250. A bear flag here on the 1 minute time frame. So below the 200 of the 1. Then you'll go below the 200 in the 3 minute. Then you go below the 200 on the 5. Sometimes they'll happen together. All right. Then you'll lose the 200 on the 10. You were already below on the 15. You're already below on the 1 hour. And at that point, you'll start headed to the 2 hour 200 moving average. That'll be your next target. I wouldn't be surprised if we dump down 117.5. It just looks likely now. And remember, we've been waiting for that liquidity level for, It's a beautiful model. I thank you so much, Sam. Hey, anytime. My buddy looked at me. He said, the fact that my buddy, he's been watching me for years. And he's like, the fact that you perfected that model, My buddy says that he's going to stutter if I get him on stream. What do you think if I bring my buddy on stream right now? My long-term friend, he's been watching me trade for about 15 years. He saw me before I had anything. He's visiting me right now. And I think he could tell a beautiful story. I think it would really help you guys connect and see me from a different perspective, but I don't know if he's willing to come on. You know what I mean? He said he might stutter. I don't think so. I think he'll have the power of the lifers and he'll do amazing. But that's just what I believe, Look at BOOKMAP telling us we're going lower down to 118,200. Unbelievable, right? I have learned the final trading tech exactly what I need. Amen. Lowest for me, 118,005. Market rinse underway. President Trump threatens a massive increase on tariffs on China products coming into the United States. Yeah, it's, again, that back and forth battle. But look, they want 118,000 and they want it now. You can see it. And look at the volatility today on a Friday. Unbelievable. Someone says, look at NVIDIA. Sheesh. I mean, the NASDAQ taking a nice little dump. This is a great day, right? If they're going to continue to print money, it's a good day to look at the dips here. Same thing here. Look at this. Yeah, you lost the 200 moving average. Now, look. See, this happened. This is what Bitcoin's likely going to do. So we lost the 200 on the 1 hour. You dump down to where? The 200 2-hour. The 200 moving average on the 2 hour. Look, it was an M pattern too, right? And the market just acting negatively to tariff news, right? It's just an excuse to dump. In my humble opinion, to create good prices. Good prices have to be created some way, somehow. Remember that. And not every day is going to be an up day. Look at that bear flag doing exactly what it was supposed to. Headed out 119,001 and then even further. And BOOKMAP, no lie, man, telling us we're going down to 118,500 for Bitcoin. So we maintain a clear mind, a clear head here, and we continue to move. And look, I still managed a winning trade today. It depends on where you are in the market, not on the market. And we talk about this all the time. Just because it dumped today doesn't mean you have to lose. Just because it pumped today doesn't, you know what I mean? You could find some people shorted their best short ever. And, it's weird how the day works like that. It's not always perfect. But if you position yourself and believe there's opportunity, then there is. Some way, somehow. But this is going to dump the whole market. This is why I smartly got out of any position I was in that was a little too risky. Specifically ASTER 2, right? I cut it off here so I didn't have to take this dump down. You know, once this started to fall and it looked like it wasn't going to hang and we're right in this 185, 180, this area, I'm out. Like, I had to cut off my losses faster, you know. That was beautiful, man. It was looking great. Like all the things, I've taken this trade 1,000 times. Tight moving averages. It looked just like RKLB, right? You don't win every trade. You cover the ones that don't make sense. And look, this is an M. This could go lower now. Right? You could end up, this thing could end up back at 75 cents. So just be careful over speculating. I swing trade this stuff until I get a better market. And honestly, the altcoin market has been iffy for a long time now. It hasn't been like amazing. What a dumpy. What a dumpy down to the downside over here. A little bit of bullish div happening here on the 1 minute. We're back here again at this $119,500 level. Remember, that's the monthly support of resistance. Once you lose that, as we said before, there's more bigger downside likely. So for me, like, I would start flagging this out again and looking for the next flag. And just going to continue lower and lower until we hit the bigger targets. 118,000 says we're coming for it, and we're getting closer and closer now to the downside. Welcome if you're just jumping on in. My name's Samuel Price, the Crypto Lifer. I do live trading, and we go over the markets every single day. This dump brought a lot of people into the stream, 1,443 beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Hit that like button, extend the chat rate, keep saying hi, jump on in, and stay blessed. And I have some of my first-time students that have only been in the trading group for a year. I hope he's getting paid on that short. Might be a good time to take profits again at 119. I don't know. We lose 119.5. There could be more downside. I'm looking for this to touch the 21 again and then start another move down. You see? Like, make another little bear flag here. That bear flag just hit perfectly. And look, you took the measured move with the length of this pole, right? Bang. Touch the 21. You flip it upside down. It's the same thing. Look, the flag on the 21 with low stochastics. This is the flag on the 21 with high stochastics. You short the way you long the way you short. It's no different. You just make it happen no matter what. Shout out to all the beautiful people here. Thank you for jumping on in. If you want to learn how to trade the way I trade, if you're confused or you got wrecked today and it doesn't make sense, go to cryptolifer.com to find out more. All right, go to cryptolifer.com, hit the subscribe button, and join my trading group. Get the knowledge that you've been missing. Help yourself, help yourself. You know what I'm saying? And if not, just join here. $150 for 3 hours of my time. People pay $300 for 1 hour of my time. Jump on in today. I teach this class the last Saturday of every month. It'll absolutely blow your mind. You'll love this class. So jump on in today to take advantage of my knowledge. It's not going to be here forever, right? Or maybe it will be. You know, you never know. Turn it into a time capsule. And wow, kind of sad. We're losing key levels here for Bitcoin. Key levels, man, are just, we're getting the drop. Head and shoulder fell down, and then it's just been a dump ever since. Now you're looking for this to flag out. It's likely this flags out and continues lower. 118,006, 118,002. And again, we're looking at this for BOOKMAP. What is this? This is a liquidity map. It's telling us the heat BOOKMAP. The darker is where it is, and the more liquidity. That's 118,200. And Bitcoin struggles with a dump, man. Crazy, right? Was 126 the high. Every time we've hit a high, we have struggled immediately after and taken a dump for a few days. Look how nasty it looks on the smaller time frames. I mean, that is just, look at that. The 15-minute is just dump. Once it got rejected by the 200. The 200 is so key. That's why I trade above it and short below it. I long above it, I short below it. Like, look at that. You lost it there. Cascading down on the 1 minute. And the 1 minute losing the 200 is key. Very key. Look, I sold the trade right there. That's the last time I sold the top right there. We haven't touched it since. And then bang, my sell is a perfect entry. You know, my top selling is also a perfect entry on the short. Wow, this looks bloody on the 15-minute time frame. 1 minute attempting to hold us down, but probably just make another bear flag. and go further down somewhere to 118,002. So I'm sorry to say, but it looks bearish. And we looked at the bigger time frames this morning too. On my morning update, it didn't look amazing for BTC on the weekly. If the weekly closes like that, that's not good. The monthly too. We went over a lot of the stuff. And again, you never know. Last time we hit this key level, we did bounce. I'm so open-minded that I could take advantage of it because I'm just fluid. I don't, I'm not stuck on one way. Anything is possible. Just let the charts teach you where you could go and take advantage of it as you go. It's just that everyone has to have this confirmation of it has to be exactly. No, it doesn't have to be exactly anything. You just have to play the probability. That's all. Nothing else. And nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? The person that doesn't trade doesn't win. Right? If you sit there and stare at the charts for days, then nothing happens. Nothing happens. I'm either going to learn from my wins and my losses. I'm going to find my way through. But to me, that looks like a bear flag that's likely going further down. My target is 118,168, and Bookmap's on my side for more downside. And I don't like to be the bearer of bearish news. I just got to deliver the truth no matter what I see here in the market. That's why people love the channel. Shout out to the awesome people here in the chat for keeping me going every single day. I appreciate you all. Okay. And look at all this. I can't even keep up. Yeah. Are the classes the same material? Or does it change monthly? I like to hop in and learn. Just jump on in, man. The house is there for profit. Odds are in the corner. Yep. Again, the right team wins. Yep. The rest of the other YouTubers are playing. Thank you for saying that. I mean, God bless everybody, though. I just focus on what we can do. Got paid working on the model, trading myself for a Happy Meal. Hey, thank you, Crypto Lifer. Treat myself for, hey, God bless you, brother. I hope it's going to be amazing. Appreciate you, brother. Brother, for your time. Appreciate you, too, brother, for your time. Love from all of us. Thank you, Cryptoholic Love. God bless you. Like and subscribe, Milligan's Travels. And wow, look at this, man. They are dumping this thing hardcore to the downside. It is getting flushed on the 1 minute time frame. Absolutely flushed. Hit my take profit for the short. Receipt in the Lifer's gains. Glad to have the skill set from the 99. Both ways, baby. Hey, God bless you, man. I'm happy that you took that. As long as people are making gains, baby. And here we are in Lifer gains. Let's see what happened here. A lot of people short in the market. So many gains and wins in here. Look at that nice dump. He shorted for $7,800 at 500x. That's insanity. Wow, all you needed was an $1,800 move and you made $7,000. That's insane. To me, though, if it goes, see, I love these, but if it goes the other way, geez Louise, man, it freaks me out. I couldn't handle that amount of pressure, man. But God bless you. I don't know how you pulled that off. Unbelievable. On 1010, this guy makes $7,800. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Good job, Jaden. James Pond for a night snack, man. James is vicious. Wow. You guys don't play. 3 for 4 today. Insane. And there's losses too, right? It's not all wins. Where's your gain, Andrew? I thought it would be in there. I don't see it. Unless you're James Pond. Is that you? Nice short. And here we are, 119,000 now falling further to the downside. Once you lose 119, just that 118.5 is calling your name. We didn't even get more sideways. We just rolled right down. What happens there is, oh yeah, it's like you kind of just make these descending triangles, see? On the 32nd, you'd see it more. And that just rolls right over. So you get this kind of like, that's a descender. Wow, look at that nasty short. Come to daddy all the way to the downside here. And wow, 118,000. Isn't that crazy? SHIB is falling. Pepe is falling. Everything is taking a dump, man. All coins are getting a beatdown. And I'm happy that I got out and I put myself into some heavy tether. I really did. I was heavy in altcoins and I stashed 100 racks in tether just like literally 2 days ago because I was like, man, and I can prove it. People are like, no, you didn't, Sam. I did. I really did. I'm not trying to be rude here, but look, I stashed $141,000 in tether, just stashed it. You see what I'm saying? Just kept it there because I said, man, the market does not look good right now. And so, and now I can buy Bitcoin on the lows, altcoin on the lows, or even just keep my money on the sidelines and buy real estate or something better, right? I mean, dang, they're playing games with this market. And so I'm teaching you guys how to cover when you can. Man. So remember yesterday I was like, I took it, and I made 10K off Aster, then I took a 10K loss. I would have been down 30, 40,000 had I stayed in Aster. You see what I'm saying? And at the time I felt like a loser. Oh, I have to cut this off in front of everyone. Well, now I look like a smart guy because it would have been even worse. Absolute annihilation. Now, am I selling off my altcoins now? No. Let's take a look though at the one coin I want to look at now is Solana. I mean, they're double bottoming that thing at 150. Everything was going so well while I was in Singapore. Thank God I didn't dump in Singapore. I would have been like, it would have been hard to enjoy myself. So, I say to God, thank you for the week. Thank you for that beautiful week. Like the whole week I was gone, we pumped so beautifully. Should have known when I got back it was going to be treachery, right? Look at Solana back at 211. It's just so like, oh my God. It pumps up to 250. It's looking great. The thing about it, though, it's still inside this tight channel. To me, it's just, it could be some good low prices. Again, I know. The only things I would buy personally, if I hadn't bought low enough, like I already bought 100K. I already bought so many things so low. Look at the dump. 118.5 immediately. Like, it just like immediately down to 118.5. And BOOKMAP's right again, nails the target. It tells us we're going to 118.5. We go to 118.5. What a nasty short down. And they flushed that. Dang, man. Now we're losing weekly and monthly support of resistance. You can see more and more people coming to the stream. These dumps make these streams crazy. We should have 3,000 people here in the stream. Hit the like button. Get it moving. And again, if you were here, we did call the short. We could tell you it didn't look good. The 15-minute was the last chance for that falling wedge to bounce. And when it did not, right there, just we lost the channel and then boom. Nasty. And then we saw a bear flag on the 1 minute that just continued to dump. Right there, that entry right there at 126.50 is now in gains by basically 2,000. Some say, why didn't you short, Tim? I already kind of made my trade today. Like, I day trade. I like to take 1 or 2 day trades. I tend not to trade. That's how I get wrecked. I don't like to do that. I take my wins and I chill. Now you're very oversold. Could you get a bit of a bounce here? Very oversold. You're looking for a possible reversal, 118.5, something. Wow. And again, these are the lows for Bitcoin. Good place to take a little nibble on BTC. What else can you do? I buy the dips, right? I mean, I buy the dips long term. Like long term. So, yeah. Man, I mean, that's, I would just just continue short. See, now the trends I told you the trend's not your friend. The daily is in a, sad to say, the trend flipped on us pretty fast. And now the trend is now more bearish again. I mean, you'd have to say another bear flag, right? Unless you can reverse, unless this turns into an inverted head and shoulder or something different. You'd try to long that right shoulder. I just watch price action do its thing. You don't have to be in every trade. Get a piece of the pie each day. You don't have to force every single trade. okay? And stay level-headed and stay calm. Otherwise, you're going to get wrecked. A lot of people got absolutely wrecked today. They went long at the wrong time, right? You see me going long? No, I sold the top there and then told us to chill. I told myself to chill. You do whatever makes you happy, right? Wow, I'm going to have to take this in, too. We got to see kind of what the bigger picture of this looks like now in the next day or two. But this definitely has an implication now. This dump makes it harder for us to get back to key levels for the next few weeks. It definitely pushes us further down of any higher targets that we had before, right? It looked like we were definitely rolling over as well. Shout out to anyone that took that market to the downside, and shout out to all my traders in the group. Looked like everybody was kind of spot on of what's happening here. I didn't see anyone caught off guard really in the group. A lot of shorts. This guy made $700 in the short unsold. This guy could see the short. Fibs never lie, right? Could see we were going lower there on Bitcoin. Had limit order for 118.6, right? This guy shorted for 1,300 unsold. And just a lot of people short in the market. My McDonald's Happy Meal shorted again for 84%. So I see a lot of lifers closing shorts and in the money there, right? Shorting Litecoin for 77% from Frank out Frank. Shout out to Frank. There's Frank. Frank, we love you, man. Keep up the good work, Frank. He is the team mascot here. He's like, what? What the... Okay. Someone said Discord was on you. Yeah, one time I did open up Discord and it was like it opened up like a DOS. It looked like a DOS program. You know what I mean? But I just had to like restart my computer and it all kind of came back the right way. But it looked all weird and choppy and like it's happened a few times in my life to other programs too. You know, attempting a recovery here, shoulder, head, right shoulder. People like Bitcoin could be a really good place to get in. You know what I mean? 118.6. Again, you'd have to figure that out for yourself. BTC. I feel like I got to buy the dips, but I mean, this one may be a bigger dip. It looks like we could be in for a bigger macro downtrend. I have to be honest here. It just is what it is. From my years of doing this, this doesn't look, it's not like, oh yes. Let's actually zoom out and take a look at what happened on the bigger picture. Seems like altcoins are holding somewhat better than they could be comparatively. So I look at the daily, right? And you can see, okay, I mean, not the worst thing in the world. Like after you pump on the daily, like I said, you're going to retrace, right? And you're likely going to retrace back to some type of Fibonacci retracement. I love this retracement from this wick here. It just makes sense that you'd come to that 618. Previous support becomes resistance. And we kind of went over this nice and snuggly wuggly, right? So, I mean, and we close the daily candle red today. Tomorrow we get the green back up, red, and we kind of just go until we get the breakout of this flag. It just suggests that you do have to test 117.6. It just kind of looks like what's going to happen even if you're bullish. Somewhat of a double top, barely a higher low on the all-time high. I get it. It's not amazing. At the same time, it could still pan out as such. Now, once you close the daily candle below 117.5, that's when I'd start to say, oh no. How do you not come and test 109? And then 109 was a key level to get back above. You lose 109, then it's, yeah, I mean, it could be double top status. Right? And you could have this M that sends you back somewhere to $96,000, $97,000 BTC. The problem with this cycle is there's so many mixed people saying, oh, the 4-year cycle's dead. We're never going to have that again. There's too many people buying. And then we could have a nasty bear market that goes right to where it should. And everyone will be like, what? But the charts told us exactly. I mean, rising wedges break down 68% of the time. You're still in a rising wedge. This is supposed to break down like this. Back to here. Like if that happened, that would be that would be like what most likely happens in trading. The rising wedge would break down to 75,000. Like that's just normal stuff. I just show you guys normal things that I think, and it's what's crazy is the normal stuff makes people freak out. And I'm like, but that's what happens. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Shout out to everyone trading on BTCC, man. The oldest exchange in the game. I love you guys doing that. down with the people that really started the exchange and sat with them, and really interesting people, man. And got to know people when I was out in Singapore that you would never get to know from traveling the world, man. And I really love that. You know, that trip really opened my eyes, and I was able to meet people I probably never would have met here in the States. Shout out to all my people that encouraged me to take that trip. I was a little afraid to take a flight like that. One flight for 14, another for 8, with the layover in the middle. I still don't believe I'm home. When I got through the front door, I was like, I'm actually home? Anyone ever traveled that far from home before? I mean, that's the farthest I've ever traveled from home in my life. I was all the way across the globe. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. I just keep Bitcoin in a flag. You have to assume it's going to continue lower, everyone. You're just making bear flags at this point. The old Sammy would get the reversal every time I could because we weren't in a complete downtrend yet. But now we're in more of a downtrend on the daily. I'd be continue to look for the next move down. 117.5 looks like our likely area. Seems like we're attempting a shoulder, a head and right shoulder. We're attempting to try to get us back into good graces. Remember, the first thing that happens is you get above the 30-second or the 5-second 200 moving average. It's the first thing that has to happen. We're doing it here. Then you're going to get above the 30-second 200 moving average. It's how you dissect price action. Then you'll get above the 1, then the 3, and then you can reverse. Until any of that happens, you're in a downtrend, understand? Okay. I can teach you so much about the small, the big, the up, the down, and how it's all connected over time. The key is not to freak out. If you freak out all the time, you won't be able to learn this. Think about it. If the last 300 days you were emotionally trading 90% of them, your emotions would add a lot on how you perceive the market. And when you're perceiving things through emotion, you can't logically learn. It's very hard to logically learn. Agreed? So when we calm down and we breathe deep and we take the market for what it is each day, we actually begin to learn. Then a year or two goes by and we actually see things that other people don't see. But if we're always trading emotions, it's like having blinders on because your emotions are part of your memory. And when you use emotions to memorize things, they skew your memory. They do. They add fear in places that aren't needed. And you're unable to actually take and extrapolate the knowledge from the actual situation the proper way. But when we remove emotions and we trade consistently, that's when we can backtest. That's when we can learn. That's when the markets can teach us what we're actually seeing. Look, a bit of an inverted head and shoulder here could save the day. Getting above the 5-second 200 moving average is the beginning of some sauce here. And then you have a little flag above the 200 with the 21 close. Yes. So here we go. So I would be sticking on this, I know exactly where we want to be. And you have to remember, the odds are you're going to make a bear flag and continue lower. You just have to assume this now. A symmetrical triangle, you know what I mean? We're struggling now. The bulls are not in control at the present moment in time. Right now, that's a symmetrical triangle. That mainly breaks to the downside. I'd say you either get a double bottom at 118.6 or you get all the way down to 117.391. Would I jump in the short this late? If I wasn't already in and positioned properly, I think it's a little high risk to jump in at this point. But the trend is your friend too at the same time. So the trend says, hey, if you put a stop loss on the other side of 119.9, it's a good chance you could continue to print. And this is just another one of them streams, right? I don't touch this until the 1 minute gets back above the 200 and we get some type of model. Then I might trade it long later on today. The good dump means we could get a good pump. It's good volatility. What goes down must come up. What goes up must come down. Right now you're watching this symmetrical triangle, which most likely will dump somewhere down to 118 and all the way possibly to 117.3. So the likely scenario, the probability is you will continue lower. Show me something. And if we got above the 200, then I might even, I might long. Unlikely that I would long tonight, though. I'm probably just going to watch price action. See what altcoins took a hit, double check, and there's going to be altcoins that are going to produce. Some altcoins ripped. They went 5-6x in the last few weeks. So if they pull back, they're going to be the ones with most liquidity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for altcoins that have opportunity right now, because there are altcoins with opportunity. Look at that. I traded so hard today. I forgot my rollie, man. That's what happens. Just what happens. I wear this. I beat this thing up, man. I really did. I wear this watch so much, man. I never take it off. I sometimes fall asleep with it on. It's 10-10, baby. Interesting. 10-10. That's how they always put a watch, when you're looking at the price action. I mean, when you're looking at a watch in a magazine, they always set the I remember that as a kid one day. I was looking at a watch ad in a magazine, and the time's always set to 10-10. You'll see. Because it makes the watch look so symmetrical, right? You have one at 10, one at 2, right? And so it looks like 10-10. Understand? I don't know. But if you ever look at a watch whenever they take a picture of a watch in a magazine, the time will be set to 10-10, right? Yeah, it's just a known kind of little fact there about watch advertising. It's the symmetrical piece. It makes it look the most pleasing to the eye. So they use that time, right? And I'm sure some people have defined it, but 90% of watch people are going to put 10-10. All right? Okay. So my wife bought some new stools for the living room, or for the kitchen. Okay. Nice. Amazing. So this is kind of where we stand. It was a massive flush out, and now it looks like we're getting tight inside a symmetrical triangle. I'd say that's going to go lower. But you could also be jumping in at the end of a short. So, it's up to you. You can't get pissed if it doesn't go perfect. Like, it is what it is. But the shorts are more in control right now. And again, I'm not happy. I don't like to see Bitcoin lose $7,000. It was just $126. It's down $7,000 in the last week. Or since I got home. Like, I just got home on Monday. Yeah, 5 days go by. So, like, the whole time I'm in Singapore, they pumped the price. Literally, the day I got off the plane, that was right. I just still can't believe it. I was in the trade. Right there, they pumped it to like 126,000. We hit an all-time high. Right? Or was that it there on Tuesday? Yeah, we hit the all-time high. I just can't believe that. It's just so fairy tale, right? I get off the plane and sell the all-time high. And that was it. Right there, we pumped. Monday, October 6th, right? Or Tuesday morning, I'm getting off the plane, but the high was... Oh, yeah, I sold maybe the Tuesday high there, this little wick, up to 125, 148, and then perfect short, too. Again, my sells are always perfect shorts, man. Wherever I sell the long, tends to be a perfect short to the downside. 5 minute looks bearish. It's looking bearish, folks. This is likely going to dump. It looks like it's going to dump hard. I have to be honest. Catch the 21 and just continue lower. Only time will tell. It's up to you. You do what makes you happy. And it's also low volume Friday. Like, you don't have to, I don't know why people feel like they have to do things. If you have a good system, you don't have to do anything. You do whatever makes sense with the high probability at the moment, and then you go from there. But yeah, I mean, you could get to, dang, man, this could go to 116. I mean, definitely looks like we're going to come test 118.6 first. Like, was this the bottom? I mean, we have a strong div, but you got some bullish divergence here. Swing up, this swing up, sharp swing down. Kind of digging in with a shoulder, head, right shoulder. Yeah, see if that 5 second can stay above the 200 moving average. But I would just let this thing, I'd watch this flag. It's likely going to dump as I leave you guys for the rest of the day here. So I'd say we go lower, down somewhere to 117.5, 117.4 on the day. Well, I'll keep you posted if anything changes. And if I see something, I'll say something. Possible shoulder, head, right shoulder. We're attempting to dig out. It's better than nothing with the bull div there, but it seems weak to me. If that 5 second loses the 200, you're going lower. All right. Everybody, every day is going to be another day. Sad that we took the dump for the overall bigger markets, right? Most coins are going to take a hit today, and it is what it is. I don't care what your coins, but some altcoins don't seem down as bad as they should be, which is okay. SWI, SAY, SOL seem to be weathering the storm somewhat better than we would think. So I'll do my weekly top-down analysis, and I'll let you guys see more insight throughout the day. I'll be in the trading group, and I'll be around. Thank you so much for everyone that used any link or hit the subscribe button, commented, and just gave us your most precious asset, which is your time. I really greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. May God bless you, and thank you so much for being here and watching the channel as much as you guys do. I'm greatly, just amazing. I appreciate it so much. So much gratitude. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'll be back tomorrow morning, Saturday night, and as we continue to push every single day, no days off. Somehow we made it through the jet lag. We made it through all the ups and downs, and we even made a bullish trade earlier today. So, hey, I'm blessed for the win, and I'll continue to come back every single day. God bless you. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, the secret to success is getting started. You're not going to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. Everyone that did anything great with their lives, they just started. You know, the great painters started painting, and we're known. Like Leonardo da Vinci one day he went to class, he drew something. Everybody started somewhere. All the greatest people in the world. Remember that. Repeat after you. Every great person, anyone you've ever remembered in life, any human that's ever inspired you, remember, they started somewhere. Where are you going to start? That's your question. I love you. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next live stream. Crypto is live.